has finally happened. In a stunning and historic turn of events, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has officially approved XRP and XLM for listing on the NASDAQ, sending shockwaves through the crypto and financial markets globally. After years of regulatory tension, legal battles, uncertainty, and speculation, this announcement marks one of the most monumental shifts in crypto adoption history. XRP and Stellar Lumens, once at the heart of regulatory scrutiny, are now recognized as legitimate assets on one of the most respected financial exchanges in the world. This is not just about a listing, it is the moment that could redefine the future of money as we know it. The news broke early this morning, and within minutes, XRP and XLM surged in price and volume, with millions of investors across the globe scrambling to reposition themselves. Exchanges halted trading temporarily due to unprecedented demand. Financial influencers, crypto analysts, institutional traders, and media houses all simultaneously turned their attention to what is now being considered one of the most significant milestones in digital asset history. The sudden spike in on-chain activity has congested the XRP and Stellar networks, and some validators are reportedly upgrading their capacity to handle the wave of new interest. Telegram groups, Discord servers, Reddit forums, and Twitter threads have erupted with celebrations, speculation, and shock. This is a moment that will be remembered. But to fully understand the weight of this development, we have to take a few steps back and look at the bigger picture. Years of tension between Ripple Labs and the SEC, the long-drawn lawsuit, countless moments of doubt, and the tireless belief of the XRP community that one day regulatory clarity would arrive. That day is today. Just a few years ago, XRP was entangled in one of the most high-profile crypto lawsuits in history. The SEC had alleged that Ripple Labs had conducted an unregistered securities offering by selling XRP. The case dragged on for nearly 3 years, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the digital asset. Investors were divided. Critics said XRP was done for. Major exchanges like Coinbase delisted it temporarily. Market sentiment was brutal, but believers held firm. Developers kept building. Strategic partnerships kept forming. Now, those same believers are waking up to a financial reality that was nearly impossible to imagine. XRP is not only legal, it's now tradable alongside stocks like Apple, Tesla, and Amazon on NASDAQ. For Stellar Lumens, XLM, this is also a massive leap forward. Often seen as XRP's decentralized cousin, XLM has spent years developing a cross-border payment system aimed at financial inclusion and speed. With ties to IBM and other tech partners, Stellar quietly established corridors for money transfers across Africa, Asia, and Latin America. While it didn't get as much media coverage as Ripple's legal battle, XLM has quietly built bridges across nations, partnered with governments, and made itself indispensable in emerging market economies. Today, XLM stands validated alongside XRP as a legitimate financial instrument approved by the SEC, an approval that many thought would never happen, especially so soon. But what does this really mean for the price and long-term value of both assets? Let's take XRP first. The token's price surged nearly 40% in the first hour following the announcement. Market analysts are already projecting short-term price targets around $2, and many believe that if institutional adoption accelerates, XRP could touch $5 or even $10 within a year. The reasoning is simple. The NASDAQ listing gives XRP access to a new class of institutional investors, hedge funds, pension funds, and ETFs, that were previously sidelined due to regulatory uncertainty. With the SEC's blessing and a major exchange like NASDAQ offering direct exposure, this is no longer a fringe digital asset. XRP is now a financial product accepted by the same system that once tried to bury it. Financial modeling experts are even running scenarios where XRP becomes the dominant bridge currency for cross-border settlement. This is especially relevant as SWIFT, the existing financial messaging network, is now facing competition from blockchain alternatives. In a world where global payments are increasingly real-time, frictionless, and decentralized, XRP could sit at the center of a trillion-dollar transformation. What was once considered mere speculation is now transforming into a groundbreaking reality. The recent announcement by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has not only shifted market sentiment, it has triggered a chain reaction among the most influential players in global finance. Since the SEC's declaration, some of the largest and most established financial institutions in the world have stepped forward with bold new strategies involving digital assets. JP Morgan, a powerhouse in banking, has openly hinted at the development of liquidity solutions built around the XRP ledger, a move that signals a serious embrace of blockchain technology. Meanwhile, BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, has officially included XRP within its digital asset monitoring portfolios, lending unprecedented legitimacy to the token. Not to be outdone, Fidelity Investments recently launched a diversified digital currency basket fund, with XRP holding a prominent position among the top assets. This kind of capital movement isn't just about price fluctuations, it represents a shift in how digital assets are perceived at an institutional level. When firms that control trillions of dollars begin to align themselves with a cryptocurrency, it's not just the price that responds, it's the entire financial system that begins to bend in a new direction. More important than any price rally is the message this sends. XRP is no longer a fringe asset. It is now recognized as a permanent and legitimate fixture within the emerging digital economy. And XRP is not the only token undergoing this transformative moment. Stellar Lumens XLM, though often quieter and less prone to dramatic price swings, is equally entrenched in this evolving narrative. XLM has long carved out a niche in the world of digital finance, one that includes facilitating central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, streamlining microtransactions, and powering cross-border humanitarian aid transfers. With its recent listing on NASDAQ, Stellar now has the visibility and access required to scale at a much faster rate. Market analysts are increasingly optimistic, with forecasts suggesting that XLM could surge from its current levels to $0.5, $1, or even beyond, especially as institutional money starts flowing into Stellar-based platforms and services. Within the Stellar ecosystem, there is a palpable sense of acceleration. Developers and ecosystem architects are seizing the moment. The Stellar Development Foundation has rolled out a fresh wave of grants specifically targeted at onboarding new fintech startups that utilize the XLM token. At the same time, emergency strategy roundtables are being held with key partners to discuss how best to capitalize on the regulatory breakthrough. What we are witnessing is not merely price movement, it's the ignition of a fully fledged ecosystem that is waking up to its enormous potential after years of waiting on the sidelines. But to reduce this moment to charts, price points, and trading patterns would be missing the bigger picture. This isn't just a financial development, it's a historical pivot. For more than a decade, the cryptocurrency sector has been clouded by regulatory uncertainty. Bitcoin and Ethereum were generally considered safe bets, while other tokens were caught in a legal limbo. That period of ambiguity is now coming to an end. With the SEC formally approving the status of XRP and XLM and their listings on the NASDAQ, the narrative has dramatically changed. This development marks a new era where regulatory approval is not only possible, but now a visible reality. Innovation has survived the legal gauntlet. The gates are officially open. The ripple effects, no pun intended, of this milestone are vast. First and foremost, it sends a clear and encouraging message to other blockchain projects that are still navigating uncertain regulatory terrain. Projects such as Cardano, ADA, Solana, SOL, and Algorand, ALGO, now have a clearer precedent to follow. Second, it positions the United States as a proactive leader in the global race for digital asset integration. For years, other regions like Europe and Asia seem to be pulling ahead in terms of crypto regulation and adoption. But now, with XRP and XLM acknowledged at the highest levels of American finance, The tide is turning.